Episode 14 is now going to be starting up. It is Learning League here with L3IRD, the bird getting in some words representing the pink classic shirt. Yes, yes, yes. And we're going to be starting up live again. I want to thank really quickly XMG, Antec, Triton, BenQ, and also MadCats. Just, throw it out there who sponsors Definitive Esports. Who Definitive Esports does host the show, so check them out as well, d-esports.com. But hello, welcome. It is L3IRD going in again for the 14th episode of Learning League. Just another break. And today, what we're going to be talking about really quickly is pretty much, I would say it's kind of mundane, just because it's very nitpicky what we're actually going to be looking at. We're going to be looking at like trading. We're going to be looking at what damage comes in between each lane through the phases of like 1 through about level 9 per se. I would say something that distinguishes before Dragon, before the first real team fight happens. Most of the time right now we've been talking about just how to teamfight engage, how to get to a point where you're comfortable with your items, comfortable with all that. And now you want to work on a little bit of more mechanical skills, a little bit more of a defining moment where you know you can take over the lane, you know you can win out against your opponent, and you can do all that goodness with just little awesomeness, like, well, trading, like, well, getting good positioning, free harass. I think we talked about it before a little bit, especially I think it's with Pawn Gypsy that we did talk about it with a professional player about it before. But now we're just going to be looking into it and seeing what the difference is between low elo trading and high elo, I guess if you want to say platinum level trading as well. So we're going to have 2 replays as usual, and we're going to be starting up right now. Hold on. Right now. Bam. So yeah, here we go. It is going to be starting up, and we are going to go overview this whole game yet again. Actually, we're not going to overview it. Mostly, we're going to review just a few minutes of the game and such like that. But yeah, it is going to be a 1400, 1500 elo game. Really good people. I mean, right, Tiza is actually the one I'm actually expecting it off of. So it's really cool to see, right, we come into this game, and definitely if you want to, sorry about this, real quick. If you want to get into playing, just games in general with rioters, they are very more than welcome to do that. And I'm just going to give it a shameless plug, but there's a lot of communities that actually start, Riot versus community stuff. So check those out. You can check my personal community out, Pentacast Productions. That's a shameless little plug right there. Yeah, they do Riot versus community every Thursday night over in the East Coast. But beside the fact, Riot is a really friendly company that actually, engages in their community. Something a lot of other esports companies don't really do as much anymore, slash do as much right now technically. So really, if you want to get into just playing with your company, playing with some of the friends that make League of Legends, that's really cool to see. Right now, we're just seeing up a League of Legends level 1 kind of defense slash kind of invade tactic. Right here, we have 5 members of Team Red. Going to go try to invade into the red buff over here, while there's the defense line over here of Team Blue. Team Blue just has to, just defend every little chokehold entrance point. Usually in low elo queue stuff like that, you usually see probably one person stand right here because the usual gank points or usual level 1 invade points are through the blue buff. Oh wow, my specking was getting a little crazy. Blue buff right over here in this little area. So if you get here fast enough, you can see somebody kind of running through here or through the bottom lane to pretty much all the way through the blue. But usually blue is like the most contested kind of point. But stealing extra red, stealing some extra race are really cool too as well. So that is what red is doing right now. And they are paying to actually go back, which is really interesting. So nothing really happened with that. Oh, that is actually interesting to see, sadly. And over here we do have a Milu just going to go farm up a little bit. Okay. Let's go fast forward a little bit so we can just get through this replay just a little bit to get into the lane phases for each team. We do have Orianna versus Zyra, we do have Darius versus Udyr, and we have Sivir, Nunu versus Vayne, Janna bottom. Okay, so let's pause that. Go back to the normal state. All right, so really quickly, since we are at the middle of the game, middle APs. Usually you'll see 2 AP middles. You can see some variances of an 80 bruiser going middle or 80 carry going middle sometimes. But generally what you see in low ELQ slash just in general is the 2 APs. We have Zyra versus Orianna for a software wall. Orianna is a really troll heavy AP carry, so you can't really do too much other than really harass down. Like, you can use your range, you can use your ball to just get in some extra harass, get in some extra damage, and kill, minions, but also kill and harass out the Zyra player over here. Zyra, a new champion, really cool champion as well. Heavy on the CC, doesn't really have anything else other than that. Does have a good amount of damage potential though with Stranglethorns, with regrowth, Grasping Roots, sorry. She's a really new champion, I actually don't know too much about her skill names actually, sorry for that. But she has a lot of DPS that can happen through her plans, but also through just a little bit of her ability, so something to really watch out for when Orianna's trying to zone out Jaffe slash the Zyra player. So right now we see that the lane is pushed up really far. Right now, let's check the CS score, 19 to 16 on the CS score. Orianna will be able to do just CS us up pretty quickly, no problem, right? The only problem is Zyra's not really doing anything to benefit from that. So Zyra's just lost free harass and lost free creeps to Orianna, but she is still winning in the CS war. So right there, just in a general statement, I want to win my lane, right? So to do this, I must free harass, which Zyra has been doing pretty much the whole game. So that's really cool to see. I want to actually use my keyboard to actually harass down, but yeah, Zyra has been doing a lot of harass, and that's why you see Orianna not doing anything else but staying back and not doing anything. So general statement that I want to make is, if I damage onto creeps and onto champion, I will win lane. I mean, that is kind of just a general statement. Pretty much what you do to accomplish the goal is actually just harass down onto your enemy creeps first, make sure that you can kind of zone out, and then you get your champion to get damaged down a little bit more, like you see over here with Pancake Yum Yum. So, in general statement, Jaffe is doing a pretty good job, but there is always like a but or a if statement in between all of that. But you just saw right there, there's a gank, there's a jungler, there's somebody else trying to look out for the soul in the middle and soul top, which we'll go to next. But yeah, in this middle play, if you kind of just push up, kind of just keep on going, oh, I'm gonna go win my lane by just keep on killing these creeps, keep on harassing down my opponent. No, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna work, because with you pushing up these creeps, you're gonna be taking a lot more damage per se through just minion auto attacks, because you're actually harassing down your enemy champion. And once you hit your, or once you auto attack personally, auto attack the enemy champion, the minions will aggro onto you, and then they will actually try to kill you. So that's just one little thing that's different from anything. But also, with a jungler, enemy jungler, if they see that you are pushed up so far, and it's really easy that you don't have any escapability, you have no flash, you have no blink, then you just go for it. You just go kill somebody, like the Jaffe that was really far ahead. So definitely, two things to watch out for. Yes, you want to go push up really hard as a AP carry, but also you have to kind of know where your zone is, more everybody else's on the map, so that you don't get caught yourself and just give a free kill. Now to the Orianna player right now, 34 CS, has to go back and buy, pretty much gets the same thing as what the Zyra player is getting. Has to do one of two things, sorry. She has to just pretty much farm up, have a really good burst potential combo, which she does have with Orianna with the shockwave slash attack command, and also the just the ball in general. Well, actually, just give out so much burst damage and it will kill people. The second thing, which she is doing right now, she is trying to rotate and try to get a gank onto this top lane over here. Gets the shockwave off and gets the damage down, and it's going to be enough to pick out Darien. And extra gold like that for a middle laner is so good. So, second general statement. If I'm behind, if I'm behind, I will farm my lane and let myself just aggro when I can to kill my enemy champion. But I will farm my lane and I will go roam to get extra gold. So pretty much in the general statement, that is really, really simple. I mean, the thing is, you need to know where you are at the map. You need to know where your enemy middle or enemy opposing champion is going to be at, and you need to know where the help really needs to be at. Over at the top lane where Udyr was just down, one kill, but also down a bit of creeps. So great stuff to actually just roam up there and get the kill onto it. Also, another problem with actually roaming down too is because there's other factors. You have 4 other champions on the map. You kind of have to make sure that you protect yourself from getting killed from the jungler or the other lanes. Technically, bottom and support can just rotate down sometimes, and that'd be tough. Yeah, there you go. That is pretty much this general idea of what an 18 middle is going to be taking care of, what they're going to be doing. Roam up, roam down, taking out whatever they can, and just helping out the team in general. So, trading off, see, example, cool. Now we're going to go back again. Oh, sorry, you're going to have to see the game again from the eyes of this here. This time we're going to go over the top lane now. I think it's like 2:38, something. About 2 minutes, how about that? Yeah, 2 minutes because that's when everyone kind of refreshed and got all their buffs and stuff like that. And this game is actually a really great example of just, basic, guidelines of how lane should go and stuff like that. So it's really cool. We see over here at top lane, we have Darius versus Udyr. Darius already getting off in that trade so much damage onto Udyr. Udyr's not going to do anything. Again, basic example, basic sentence. If I harass so much to get out enemy prison champion, or enemy champion, lane partner, I don't know what you really want to say, but opponent, if I get opponent harassed down to, I'm thinking he's like 100 health, he's at 139 health, I win lane. Generally, the thing about top lane that's not really different per se from middle lane or even bottom lane, but it's preeminently known because you can get it done really fast, especially because you do have these bushes over here to kind of just sneak it around. If you kind of went out in your lane really early by just harassing down slash taking out a lot of the health, you're gonna see right here Darius has such a commanding lead on the CS that Unstable cannot do anything. Literally, he has 1 CS, has already ate up all his health pots, can't really do anything else but try to CS that tower, which is not such a bad idea or not such a bad thing for Udyr, because Udyr can kind of CS pretty good with on tower, and also just heal up with that turret over there. So. Yeah, like, really, this is all Darius' plan to not lose, but kind of win out. And if Darius can win out this top lane, it can really help out, win out into the middle lane and into the bottom lane. Oh, a quick note on the order of importance in solo queue of just lanes in general. Most people will agree that AP middle is pretty much the set standards, that's the set thing that will skyrocket slash fall game really easily. Just because you can roam down to bottom lane, you can roam up to top lane if you really demolish or destroy your lane in the middle. So middle lane is one of the biggest important things to start up for the early to mid game. Top lane is a supposed generic lane that can be either really good or really not needed. I mean, you've heard it in the NA community of solo top just being a very farm heavy lane. Well, that is true most of the time. All that misdone is going to be costing us a life right there. That was very tough to see. But yeah, the top lane usually has this moniker of having a farm solo top all day, just push all day and stuff like that. And it's just because it depends on certain champions like Cho'Gath, like Shen or something that can actually split top and actually roam down to middle bot with any moves or with a usual teleport summoner skill. So that's one thing that is not very important. But with top lane, you can actually still run down as well to middle lane and such by using the same tactics that you use at middle over to the top lane kind of aggro, to top lane session. So like if you want to go top lane, you push your wave all the way to pretty much where Darius has it, like where it was over here. Then you can just go middle and just go help out and damage down onto something. Oh, they're taking a lot of bit of damage right there. Something that he has to worry about. Nothing he can really do right now because they are going to be camping up the lane. So right now, Darius still has that advantage, especially since Udyr didn't get any kills. Got assists, but nothing on the kill. It's at 9 to 15 on the CS score. So what's the biggest thing that top lane needs to do? General statement. If I'm losing top lane, I must first ward the area of where ganks are having in. So usually because we saw 2 early ganks. Oh my gosh, Uncivil's gonna die again. But we had 2 early ganks pretty much coming in through this river bush right here. Having this place warded around this area makes it easier to see entrance point right over here if you're on the purple side / the red side. Entrance point for somebody who took blue already, or when the timing, or somebody is going to be taking blue. But also making sure that you have some inclination of where somebody is going off on the team. I like this one over here because it does the tribush and the river placement. But I usually don't use that just because if you're on blue side, you're just expecting to, well, usually you want to expect to just hold the lane over in middle and then aggress on whenever you have the advantage, or aggress on when you have the disadvantage. So yeah, there you go. That is pretty much one big thing. Your general statement. If I'm losing, first I must ward my lane. So warding wherever the entrance point where the ganks are. Second, I must push my lane as much as I can so that my top lane, does not fall down. What does that mean? That means pretty much you wanna kind of push your lane to help out and get as much as you can to not have aggro, the aggro for the minions take out so much of your tower. Because if you lose your top tower really early, it's not that bad per se, but it's gonna give a lot of control for the later game. Because if you lose your tower early in top lane, especially, I mean, you can't really get this tower or your opposing tower down anytime faster than maybe 20-25 minutes, unless a lot of people play up to the top lane / the team kind of moves over to top lane, which usually in general solo queue, especially low solo queue, never usually happens. So you definitely don't want that to happen. So definitely, if you're top lane, second part of that general statement, you must push your lane so that you can keep your tower alive. I mean, pushing the lane does not mean you push it all the way over here. Pushing the lane means that you keep it controlled at least at middle so that you can be okay. Third and final thing about top lane, you must ask for ganks to help you out if you are super behind, / if you are super behind early. The usual thing, especially for me, that happens is I try to, just hold it out for as long as I can and then try to ask for a gank. By the time I try to ask for a gank, sometimes it's already too late. Literally, the top laner would be about 2 or 3 levels above me. So something to watch out for is, top lane etiquette. You kind of have to get in as soon as possible so that you can do something. Especially since top lane is the farthest lane, technically, for junglers to really control down. Other than, I mean, for blue side it's a little bit easier, but for purple side / red side, it's really hard to get top lane. Top lane is not really a great place to actually get ganks on for the purple side. So that is why you kind of have to think, well, if I can't get this gank now, what do I have to do to keep on coming from behind? And if I ask for a gank right now, it might help. So, third statement, ask for games early. The last statement, and it's something that you usually see me do, it's something a lot of people do who are either behind or just defensively can't just do it just because. build gold for 10 items if you're that support kind of tank. Like a Malphite, like a... I don't really consider a lot of other top laners. I mean, you can do it with Udyr. Udyr is pretty good with hard gold, so you can do that too. You can do the harder gold with Lee Sin as well, but you know, harder gold is pretty much a good thing for a top laner, but also a Philosopher's Stone, if you want to do it as well, is really good for it. So, something to really note, and something to really do, if you are behind, build that gold for 10 items and help yourself out. Ooh, bad gank by Orianna. Orianna just killed herself. Yeah, she just killed herself. Oh, we do see Darius being picked off by Udyr again, though. So the ganks are coming heavy for blue team slash Udyr, who's still really behind, but Darius is kind of dunking, kind of doing his thing, and just killing as much as he can. But that kill right there for onto Darius actually helped Udyr just come back into this game. So there you go. Usual things for top lane, really quickly just to refresh. 1, if you're behind, ward your lane. 2, farm up your CS / move the CS to the middle of the lane so that you don't have your tower being destroyed in the first 10 minutes. 3, ask for ganks really early. That is the most important thing actually for top lane, because it is really hard to get up to top lane. Usually for junglers, because junglers usually roam around middle, usually roam around bot, because you know the early objective is really dragon, and that's what you really want to go for. And the last thing, if you're behind, build some gold for 10 items to help yourself out, get some gold, and help your advantage out even more. Okay, so we did talk about top, we did talk about middle. I'm not going to be talking about junglers, because junglers are going to be just really a minute part of the whole lane phase. I was going to say, junglers, what they do usually is help out, other than farm up CS through Storm, which Shyvana and some other junglers do, help out the other lanes really snowball later. Usually what you want to see from jungler is jungle kind of gets that middle lane really fed, so that the middle can kind of help out jungle to gank up over top, gank over bottom, control buffs, blah. So yeah, that's pretty much what you want from a jungler. You want them to give enough control for the lanes to actually do something for that mid game push, so that, you know, jungle / middle game, you are really set to really own it up, so that your late game / your middle game should be the ending point of the game in solo queue. So yeah, there we go with that. And lastly, we're going to be talking about bot lane. I'm just going to check out some of the action more into this little bit of mid game, but nothing really else happening from this. Okay, so let's go back to the awesome 2-minute mark yet again. Lastly, not leastly, we do see bottom lane. Bottom lane AD carry and the support. Vayne Janna versus Nunu Soraka, Nunu Sivir. Really quick thing, really quick tip. A lot of people don't know about this, or a lot of people are actually getting to know it now. You want to take this double golems really early in the game. If you take double golems / for blue team and you don't have the jungler who is a red dependent jungler, you get extra free gold, extra free harass, extra free XP, so that you can do anything you want with this. So for Riot Tizza, for Arcade Pulse, they just got that extra XP so that Tizza can be level 2 before Sivir can be level 2. So really good thing to do if you're on the blue side. General statement, if on blue, take double golems to get XP. Sorry. If bot, take double golems to get XP. So yeah, there you go. Right there we saw a trade between the bottom lane. Really quickly, something that has to be noted. Bottom lane is 2 people. 2, not 1, 2. Not solo lane. So you have to really watch out for your support, and you have to really watch out for yourself as well. So if you're the AD carry, vice versa, if you're the support, you have to watch out for each other to make sure that you, you know, kind of even out. Usually what you've been seeing for a lot of games / a lot of low solo queue, high solo queue, stuff like that, the bot lane kind of acts as one kind of unity, one kind of person. So you have to watch out, like, think in the mind of an AD carry, you have to think, I have so much health but my other part has so much health. My other part being the support. So you want to combine all that health together really technically in your head and just calculate where I can go and what I can do to go ahead even more, or if I had to sacrifice something, what do I have to do to try to minimize my loss. It's a really complex game for bottom lane, especially just because you have that extra element of having not a random person per se, even if you're duo queuing, even if you're in a team game, you know, that extra person on your mind so that you have to calculate even more statistics, more stuff. But since AD carries are pretty simple in the mechanic of how to actually win out the lane, it really is the interesting thought between what you have to think about and what you're doing on screen. So we do see Tizza and Pulse just kind of just farming up as much as they can. We did see Sivir take out a big chunk out of the support, while Tizza himself did do a little bit of damage to Rats, but Rats kind of just healed up through health pots. So right now we do have Rats having 2 health pots, but Janna having only 1 health pot left through her inventory. So she's going to be really low, slash she can't really do too much harass. Really quickly, through a AD carry such a bot lane, what you want to start out harassing, really, you don't want to lead out with your AD carry. Your AD carry should not be leading out the damage output at bottom. You should leave it up to your support to really just kind of lead your lane, slash kind of direct how your lane will go. Because if you let your AD carry kind of get in there really fast in front, you can have situations where your positions are out of position, 2v1, and you know, just get caught down really easily. So let your support try to lead out, but if you have to lead out as your AD carry, do know where their support is so that you can just zone out the other AD carry pretty easily. Right now we do see Red Tizza taking a little bit back right now, just taking a lot of bit of, not free shots, but definitely a bit of poke. And right now it's really because of the character. Vayne is a great character overall. Her early game is probably the weakest though of all the AD carries, so definitely you have to kind of note for that and just kind of play a little bit more passive per se. Jenna getting some poke right there. Tizza's taking a lot of damage from both Jelly and Rat Simplistic. So something that's going to have to be really taken care of is Janna has to really help out Tizza, because Tizza can't really do too much in this lane without Janna having some sort of zone, some sort of something. Because right now, pausing it for a second. Right now, the zone slash the comprehensive pretty much outlook is pretty much for purple team. This big area right here is all free game. Well, that's a little bit ahead. But right here, before where our Arcane Pulse is, and pretty much where the line of sight slash the target range sight of the tower, Tizza is just pretty much open and free for either Jelly or Rat Simplistic to really do any damage. So Arcane Pulse can't really do too much just because she got low really early, and that's not the fault of her own, but you know, she does take a lot of bit of harassment in an early go, so she can't really give a zone right now. If Arcane Pulse can start pushing up just a little bit, or even get into the brush so that Tizza can farm a little bit more safely, a little bit more efficiently, it would be really great for him. But for now, Tizza can't really do too much, and that's going to be the problem for the game for now. So right now, basic statement for winning the lane. If I win harass on one of the 2 characters, one of the 2 characters being support or being the AD carry, I will win my lane. Early game is all dependent for AD carries. If you win that harass war really early, you will win the game about 7 times out of 10. Unless you do throw really hard, or if you do some really bad positioning, or if you give a jungler a really free time to do something like gank the lane for free, stuff like that. So yeah, 7 times out of 10, that's pretty much the general idea. And once you do control that one person, it's always one person that you control in that lane, you will pretty much win your lane. So, right there, that's really good stuff. Checking out that Janna. This is a little bit saddy right now with his Vayne, but he will get some help pretty soon. So again, referring back to that general statement of winning, if I harass down one person early, I will win the lane. we do see the missed bandit shots like Glaucoma, and Glaucoma is has to go back away, right? Tizza just taking down, doing a really good defense job right over there, and just taking down whatever is over there, and you know, just being some extra DPS to whatever front target that is. So now you know what we're going to be talking about in the statements. We're going to be talking about if losing, and you know, Tizza's not technically losing right now. He has 39 to 44. It's pretty even per se on the CS score, other than, you know, Rat's getting that extra kill. But here we go with the general statement. If I'm losing bottom lane, AD carry and support, there's two ways of doing this. If I'm losing as an AD carry, I want to first freeze the lane as much as I can for as much as I can, just so I can get some extra gold, extra experience, while trying to deny some experience from Red Simplistic, which actually takes so much damage but doesn't get killed, and Tizza actually takes so much minion aggro. Oh my god, actually attack onto Ugele, and Ugele takes a lot of bit of damage, and Tizza's pretty much dead. Yeah. That bait by Sivir was really strong. Really strong. So if I'm behind, first I must farm up as much as I can while freezing the lane and making sure that I do not put myself in more danger by losing another death and such like that. Second, I must watch out where all the wards are, where everyone is, because if you're the first one down as the AD carry, you're pretty much just being targeted throughout the whole game. You've been seeing a lot of camping happening for people who've, you know, gotten the first blood, gotten, you know, dead a little bit more than once or twice. If you are falling down to a certain point where you can't come back, and especially if you are the carry, that is going to be really bad, because that means you have no kind of late game potential unless you farm up a storm, which is kind of hard because you're going to be denying somebody else's farm, which is really tough as well. So, second thing, if I am losing, I must be aware of everyone else around me, around the map. Lastly, I must get extra gold, extra experience wherever I can. Usual thing for blue team. Yeah, usual thing for blue team is, you know, level 1, take that the double golds at the bottom, get it in early, make sure that, you know, you get as much experience as you can while getting help. The double golem is such a really valuable resource as an AD bot, and technically for the top lane as well, which I didn't actually talk about because the Darius was doing pretty decently, it's doing pretty okay at that top lane. Yeah, that is really pretty much the goal. If you are losing behind, you want to get that extra gold, extra experience, even if you have to go back and roam up to middle, take some free Qs over there. Because extra experience means you get closer to matching the items of the other AD carry of your other counterpart. And if you can do that, it'll really help. Although, I wouldn't really suggest stealing minions creeps from middle. I mean, double golem, I would technically ask your jungler, because your jungler might be taking it as well. But you know, if you have the inkling slash if you know you're a hyper carry slash late game carry, take the farm. Just take it. So referring back to these three little roles again, three little general statements. 1. If I'm behind as an AD carry, I must first freeze my lane slash first farm up a storm. So usually that means trying to hold your lane pretty much over here technically, because you don't want to give, again, like in what we said about top, you don't want to give a free tower to the enemy team. So if you hold it right here, the minions will still kind of push, and you're still going to get denied some minions just because it's really hard to last it, especially because you don't have that early game damage as an AD carry in general. So yeah, you want to hold your minions pretty much right over here. So first statement again, if I'm behind, I must farm up a storm slash freeze the lane. Second, I must be aware of everyone's surroundings, AP, top, jungle, at all times, because I am susceptible to ganks. Or pretty much, I will lose. And lastly, again, take extra experience, take extra gold through double golems, through wolves if you're on the purple side, or through other lanes as well. So yeah, that's general. Sorry about that. That's generally kind of basics of what you want to kind of look out for during the laning phase and what you want to do. Next, we're going to be talking about. Sorry, I'm going to pause the game, actually get out of it. Next, we're going to be talking about. Sorry, hold on real quick. Next, we're going to be talking about how to actually, harass, how to do damage, and looking at how high elo players / platinum players really look at this game differently than how low elo / mid elo people, 1400, 1500, 13 and below, look at this game as well. Again, this is going to be episode 14. Just another break. It is L3 IRD. Just hosting it up for Different D-Esports, and we will be right back.